So today I'm going to expose what all the gurus and dropshippers out there are trying to hide from you, and they don't want to tell you the truth. And to be honest, I just wanted to share with you guys, how I really feel about all these things that all these gurus are actually saying on YouTube. So let's just start off with the fact that dropshipping is a get rich quick scheme, right? I think most gurus we can say out there, all of them describe dropshipping basically as something where you can get rich quick, you can make $1 million, right? You can make like 100K a month, and they all kind of market it or like advertise it to like show or like make it seem like it's very easy to make the 100K a month or $1 million a year. But the truth is like it's not. To get to that point is like a lot more difficult. Like it certainly can happen, but you need to put a lot of effort into it. You need to put a lot of time into it. You probably won't be able to get to like $1 million a year in just like your first year of doing it. It'll at least take a few years till you get to that point. But there are people out there who are doing that. So it's definitely possible, and I've seen it. Like I know people out there who actually genuinely are making $1 million a year. But the thing is, it didn't take them like 2 months or 3 months. Didn't take them 6 months. It took them longer. But eventually they got there. And that's the thing you need to understand is that it is possible with it in dropshipping. It's not like impossible, right? It's not like you're doing a job and you can't do it. It's definitely possible. But then you got to also understand, also a lot of people out there like the gurus, some of them are probably sharing revenue and not like their profits, right? And, most of the gurus out there, they're probably doing Facebook ads. And if you actually think about it, they're probably spending just as much money on those Facebook ads to get those sales. So profit-wise, they're probably only making 20 to 30% off that $1 million that they show you on Shopify. So it really comes down to like $200,000 to $300,000 in profit. Sometimes probably even less. Well, most of the time probably even less because you have no idea how much they're really spending on ads and you don't know how much they're actually spending on everything else. Sometimes it can't be true or sometimes it's not true, but they're only flexing the numbers for you on Shopify because, for you guys who are watching and you don't know much about, dropshipping, they can easily deceive you and make it look like it's easy, but it's not. It's truly not. Like I even tried Facebook ads, in the beginning, and I would say like it was super, super difficult and I had no idea what I was doing, and that was why I lost thousands of dollars doing Facebook ads. Just be wary and be aware that it's not something that you can get rich quick. It's not like, putting your money into meme coins and then literally in 24 hours, you're $1 million richer. It's not like that. And there are some people out there who, I guess, get lucky and do make a lot of money, right off the bat when they first start. But it's about like it's about like being able to do it consistently and to learn the skill consistently, to go viral and to make sales is very difficult. But once you learn it, 110%, you can scale to eventually making $1 million a year or more, like 100% possible. Just understand that when gurus say it's a get rich quick scheme or, they word it in ways where they basically tell you it's a get rich quick scheme, it's really not. It takes longer, it takes a lot of work, and especially if you're doing organic, it takes so much more work than you realize, but it's worth it. In the end, it is worth it because you're learning the skill. The next thing is a lot of people or a lot of gurus out there are saying dropshipping is dead, right? And it's not. Dropshipping is not dead. And I don't think dropshipping will ever be dead. Even if, Trump is putting on the tariffs and stuff, I don't think dropshipping will ever die because it's a fulfillment method. I feel like it'll always be something that's happening. If it's not with China, it'll be with another country. Definitely, it's not something that will ever die, I don't think. The ways we do dropshipping could change, but it definitely won't die. And the gurus out there who are telling you dropshipping is dead, it's most likely because they're trying to sell you on a course. Like they're trying to sell you on joining like an SMMA course or trying to do, like day trading, whatever it is. Most of the times when they're telling you dropshipping is dead, it's because they're trying to get you to buy something else. And so, I don't know. I honestly wouldn't really trust it, especially in a video where someone's saying dropshipping is dead, just because of myself, how I think, enough experience to say that it's not dead, right? Like I made enough sales to know that it's definitely not dead and it's definitely possible. So it's definitely not dead. If a guru says it, they just know that they're probably trying to sell you on a course. Dropshipping is a great side hustle. I don't know, like this is rough, but it's really not a side hustle. I see dropshipping as a full-time gig. Like even though I work like a full-time job Monday to Friday, I still do dropshipping full-time, like 10 plus hours a day. So yeah, it's definitely not a side hustle, especially if you're doing organic dropshipping, then there's no way it can be a side hustle. And even if you're trying to make it like a side hustle, I think eventually you get to a point where you got to scale and you can't spend it as a side hustle. It's actually going to be a main thing, because of the time and effort you need to put into it. With Facebook ads, like it could be a side hustle maybe, but that's like solely because with Facebook ads, you just need to make your creative and then you test it for like a week or something. And then if it doesn't work, you make a new creative. So the thing is that it could be a side hustle on Facebook, but I feel like most people that I know who are probably trying to pursue it properly, they're not doing it as a side hustle. Especially if you want to do well, I feel like it shouldn't be a side hustle at all. And if you're looking for a side hustle, you should be looking for something else. Like a side hustle, I feel like that's good, could be like investing in like a laundromat or something, right? Like if you invest your money into a laundromat, you can always have recurring money coming into your bank accounts, and you're just working on it, on the weekends. Even like a car wash, right? Like if you save enough money to make a car wash or to buy a car wash, eventually you get to a point where it's only just maintenance that you're dealing with. So then every weekend you're gonna go top up, or like after you finish work, go top up on the stuff that needs to be topped up in a laundromat or car wash. Collect the change, add money in, whatever it is. That's like a side hustle. Reselling things is a side hustle. Like buying sneakers and selling sneakers, like that's a side hustle where you're making kind of a bit of money, but you're not making big money to like quit your job and make a big difference. So yeah, like I don't think dropshipping is a side hustle, to be honest, because yeah, again, like side hustles, you're trying to spend like just a couple hours a day on it, but the truth is like you can't. So it's definitely not a side hustle, and that's the biggest misconception with like how gurus describe dropshipping, is that they say this is the best side hustle of 2025, but it's not. It's not a side hustle. You can't spend 2 hours a day on it and say that's gonna make me $1 million. Like that's just not realistic, and it's just not something that will happen. I mean, it can. I think some people they just get lucky, but it's realistically like you shouldn't think about getting lucky. You should just think about something that's realistic, like a goal that's realistic. Getting lucky is just, if it happens, it happens, but it shouldn't be something you're praying for every day, right? You can have less than $100 and dropshipping. You can start dropshipping with less than $100. That's like what a lot of gurus say, or even like $0. Some of them say, but like no, definitely not. I would say if you really want to get the most out of it, you should not be having just $100 and that's it. And yeah, I feel like even all those videos who say, start dropshipping with $0, It's not possible. Most of the gurus out there who actually say that on their YouTube channel, it's most likely just a clickbait, just to get you to click on their video. And they kind of misguide you a little bit by how they title their videos and stuff, by saying, dropshipping with $0. But even with organic, like, you're not spending as much as you would with Facebook ads, I think, but you still need to spend more than $100 on it. I would say like a good way to start is probably having like 1K. $1,000 can probably get you a long way. The amount of equipment you need, like I've got like 3 or 4 different kind of tripods. What else? Even just like buying products. And then there's also monthly subscription on Shopify. Like, there's like discounts out there where you can get like your first 3 months for $1. But then after those 3 months, it gets quite expensive. Like, I pay $200 a month on Shopify. So after those 3 months, if you're like serious about dropshipping, like you really want to do it, then you definitely need to save more money. Or at least know that you need to spend more money than $50 or $100. $100 isn't going to get you a long way with dropshipping. But if money is tight, I would say always pick organic dropshipping, because you're spending your time over spending your money, which in the beginning, I think that's all you can do is trade your time for money. That's, literally everyone. That's how when we start, we got to trade our time for money, but eventually, gradually, when we find the right product, we can scale and get creators on us and we teach the creators what we know, and then eventually it'll become passive income. Like, it can't be 100% passive because you're still going to manage people and stuff, but you can do a lot of the shitty work. Like, you can do less of the shitty work that you don't want to do. And you just tell people how to properly film videos, how to edit videos, the way you like it. So it's definitely like, that's probably the way to do it, but you definitely can't spend less than $100 or $50 or $0 and think you can make like 10K a month. That's just not possible. But in saying 10K a month, the next thing I want to talk about is gurus always say how you can, it's like easy to make 10K a month, or, your life will be set after you make 10K a month. Everyone has this idea that like 10K a month is the goal that they want, and like they'll be satisfied after having 10K a month. And I guess because this used to be me as well. I used to have the same mentality of like, I'll just make 10K a month and I'll be set. Like, I'm not trying to be greedy and go for like $1 million a month or 100K a month. Like, like that's too like out of my scope, right? Like, as a beginner, like when I was first like looking at dropshipping, like thinking to make like 100K a month or $1 million a month or $1 million a year, it seemed like such a far stretch. But as I've like done it, I've realized that it's definitely something that is possible, but then also realizing that 10K a month actually isn't a lot, right? Like 10K a month before tax, right? You don't really get too much of it, right? Let's just say before tax, it's 10K a month. After tax, say the tax is 50%, you're left with 5K a month, right? And with 5K a month, you're left with, every month you're probably paying $200+ a month on Shopify. It can range from $200 to like $1,000 a month, just on apps and everything else that you use on Shopify. So that's already like down to 4K, right? And then what else? You got to think of your expenses as well. Everyone is different. So I don't know, say like 1.5K for expenses. Now you're left with like 3.5K. And say the whole goal of you doing dropshipping, you wanted to, retire your parents. Well, 10K a month or 5K a month is not going to retire your parents, because to retire your parents, you'll probably need to be spending at least 1K a week on each parent, right, to retire them. essentially whatever they're making right now for work, you need to be able to give them that every week. And so if you can't, then you can't really retire them, right? So essentially that will go down to like you're left with like 1K or something. So then you're not really left with much. So 10K a month really isn't a lot, right? Like 10K profit and 10K like revenue, it's like two different things. So yeah, 10K a month really isn't the kind of aim you want to go for. Although like 10K a month consistently, that's huge. But then also becoming or getting 10K a month consistently is also something else that's very difficult. So there's like so many different stages you need to understand with 10K a month, right? 10K a month in revenue, 10K a month in profit, right? And then 10K a month after tax. Like to make 10K a month properly, after tax, you'll need to make at least 20K a month. So yeah, and that's 20K a month in profit. But then in revenue, you'll probably need to make at least like 40K a month with organic dropshipping you need to make 40K of revenue to make the 20K in profit. And then that will go down to 10K a month because of the taxes. So really you need to make 10K in revenue a month to be able to even make 10K a month in profit or in your bank account, basically. So yeah, there's like so many of these different things that actually come to it. Whereas like when you're thinking about it outside of dropshipping, like you just think of this money as like just, it's all yours, but really it's not. You know, to get 10K in your pocket, right, in your bank account, you need to be making at least 40K revenue. And that's just saying if you're making 50% profit margins with organic. If you're doing Facebook ads, you need to be making way more money to be making 10K a month in your bank account every month. I don't know how much the exact amount you would probably need, but I think it would range from around 80K a month probably in revenue to make 10K profit in your bank account every month. So yeah, it's not easy. 10K a month is actually not that easy to do. It's possible, but it's difficult. Like that 10K a month is a lot of work, a lot of effort, especially if you want to make that 10K a month more consistent. It's not what the gurus say it is. And that's, I think, one of the biggest misconceptions is you'll be set having like 10K a month in life. You really won't, because the whole dream is to retire parents, right? To live in a like huge house, right? To buy a Lamborghini, whatever it is. 10K a month is not it. And yeah, it's not. Last thing is dropshipping is easy, right? Anyone can do it. And yeah, in some ways it is easy, and it is like it is true that anyone can do it. Like if I can do it, you can do it. But then the other thing is that it's easy to do it, but then it's not easy to make the money, right? Like I said before with the 10K a month, like to realize like to make 10K a month into your bank account every single month, it is not easy. You need to generate a lot of money for it to come in. It's not simple. It's not like you just make a couple sales and that's it. Like it's not possible. Takes a lot of work, takes a lot of effort. So it is definitely not easy, but it's easy to start, right? Like, and you gotta understand how like once you start and you make your first sale, I don't think you'll ever stop, because I don't see how you would ever stop making money after you've already done it online. It just makes you want it more, you know? And I think in some ways it probably gives you a huge dopamine hit when you like go viral or you make like heaps of views and then you start getting sales. Like I'm sure like your brain is sending you so much dopamine into your head, and that it gets to a point where you just can't quit, because that is me right now. Like I feel like I've like made so many sales, I've gone viral so many times that in my head I'm constantly chasing this dopamine of just trying to get more and more and more. Like that's literally where I'm at right now, which is good though. Like I think being able to use dopamine into the way you want it to be done, for like something that can benefit you, is the best way to use dopamine. I know for with social media, right, with the doom scrolling, literally like you're getting dopamine off this little device you have on your hand every single day, just scrolling and getting these small dopamine hits. Even when you're watching corn, like every single day you're getting these dopamine hits from watching corn. So it's, like trying to understand how to use dopamine properly so that it can help you, in your future of just finding success, is a really good way to do it. And the only whole thing of I only started understanding about dopamine was when I watched this podcast from, I think it's called the CEO Diaries or something. Wait, let me check real quick so I can get you guys the real name. Diary of a CEO. That podcast. There's a recent podcast, literally not uploaded too long ago, maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, and it's titled like Dopamine, and you can find it on Spotify. But basically, that podcast was so interesting because it taught me so much about how everything we do in life is because of dopamine. So I'll probably talk about that more in tomorrow's video, because I really do want to make a video about just dopamine itself. It's something I think that once you understand how dopamine works, you can actually use it to your own benefit. And in a lot of ways, you just need to do it enough to where you get your first dopamine hit, right? And then eventually you'll just be able to keep going and not stop. And eventually just form a habit for you, and then it's easy, So that's it for today's video. I think probably one of the longest videos I've done so far on this channel. But tomorrow maybe I'll be talking about the dopamine stuff. So please stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the channel so you guys get the notification when I do post about that dopamine video tomorrow. Because I think that will actually benefit a lot of you guys who are just starting, and to understand, how to use dopamine to your own advantage. It's such a power. Literally, if you're trying to be a superhero, understanding dopamine, you're literally, if you think about it, you're using superpowers in your brain, right? Sounds a bit crazy, but I think of it that way, trying to take control of dopamine and to use it for yourself. It's a superpower. But that's it for me today. I hope you guys learned or just kind of got clarity with dropshipping, with what all these gurus are always saying every day on their YouTube videos. A lot of it isn't true. Some of it is true. And it's hard to know what is right and what is wrong, because they're always, at the end of the day, always selling something to you, so you don't know if it's true or not. But rest assured, on this channel right now, I'm not selling anything to you guys. I'm literally just telling you guys everything that I learned, everything that I know, so that you guys can kind of, start on your own as well. But rest assured, I'm not selling any courses. I'm just doing this just to document it, just to document for myself. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you learned a bit more, and hopefully this video could get you a little bit closer to starting dropshipping, because you're 100% watching this because you're not sure, and you want to know the truth. Well, that's what I've had to say for today. So I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video.